Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Sherrika Sanders. I hope I pronounced your name right. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Yes, you did. You pronounced it perfectly, and thank you so much for having me. I am having an amazing Friday morning for me.
Wow, this is amazing. And thank you for saying yes to our interview. I'm so excited to get to know you more. And of course, I like to present you, to introduce you to the audience a little bit. So you are established, transform the gap. I don't know how you pronounce this, GAAP. You have to tell us more about that if it's gap to leverage your progressive 15 plus years of knowledge and experience as an accomplished corporate accountant to educate and empower accountants, aspiring learners, and women entrepreneurs to master essential accounting skills. This is really amazing because maybe you did not know this. I was an accountant too for the last 15 years. So, hello, and and let's talk about what inspired you to do this.
So, to the first part, yes, you did pronounce GAAP correctly, and GAAP is stands in the U.S. It's known as Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. So, widely known accounting term, and I wanted to incorporate it in my business because I wanted to kind of give a nod, I guess, to my corporate accounting career. And transform the gap speaks to what truly inspires me. In my business, GAP stands for Goals Assigned Achieving Purpose. And what that means is I'm going back, I guess I would say, reaching back out to accounting teams, to women specifically, accountants, to women entrepreneurs, and what I mean by aspiring learners, those who want to know more about the areas of accounting and finance, and seeing how I can help. How can I provide value to you? How can I help you? Let me help you. And making sure that they are comfortable. Finances is something that tends to be a taboo subject, especially with women. And so when I work with women entrepreneurs, I'm working with them to not only make sure that they're keeping their monthly records clean and in order, but also teaching them what I'm doing, how to do it so that they have an understanding and they don't just have to trust blindly. And the same with accounting teams. It's really mimicking what I did in corporate America. And I left corporate because I realized it was no longer serving me. And so it was, what is it that's not working? And I realized the solution wasn't going to another company, but it was to continue doing what I love, building the employees, building the teams, helping them to become better accountants, but doing it on my own time. And so the inspiration for these things is how Transform the Gap was birthed.
Wow. I love that so much what you said. And yes, I remember I studied, let's say, international accounting. It is 20 years
Hmm.
ago. And the saying, the GAAP, yes, general accounting,
Hmm.
whatever principles. I remember this like now
Hmm.
when you said it. I'm in Germany here. I don't know if you recognize. No, you don't recognize, but we are international in this podcast, and I love connecting with people all around the world. So I'm so impressed by what you said and how you transformed your profession into, yeah, it's like a calling. You had a calling, and now you are
Yes.
helping people. You said this. Okay, I have another question for you, and it is, who inspires you? Do you have coaches and mentors? And who was the best coach you ever had?
Oh, great question. So my inspiration, one, I do consider myself to be self-driven. And what that means is I looked for opportunities of how I can help and how I can provide value. And so I want to make sure that whatever relationship I'm in, personal, professional, whatever, where am I providing value? If I were not here tomorrow, would they notice? And so that is a sense or source of my inspiration of, making sure that I can be of service to other people in my life. So that definitely provides a bit of, I guess, inspiration for me. I have business coaches and different things like that. I believe that every coach needs a coach, every therapist needs a therapist. So I'm all for having that ear, having someone that you can talk to that can provide an objective opinion, because we can always be right or wrong in our own minds. So having someone that's sounding board. But honestly, I think my biggest inspiration and what I do came from the bad examples of what I saw in corporate America. And it was the managers, excuse me, the managers that really didn't want to help the teams, the ones who took the credit, the ones who didn't boost morale but made it worse. It was seeing those things and saying, you know what? I don't ever want to do that. I don't ever want to be associated with anything like that. And what can I do in exact, opposition, the opposite of those things. So that's really what's the driving force behind what I do.
Oh, I love that so much. You refer to, let's say, bad examples in order to see how to improve, and you call them coaches. Like, yeah, yeah. This is a
Mhm.
new perspective for me. Thank you so much. And my next question is, how do you inspire other people?
One, I try to be as genuine as possible. I've learned when you try to people please, when you try to give people what you think they need, you often miss the mark. But when you just show up as yourself, your vulnerable self, which is can be really hard, and it's definitely, I will say, hard for me. But and your vulnerable self doesn't mean, with tears in your eyes and all of those things. But your vulnerable self means just, this is who I am. This is what I know. This is what I don't know. I'm willing to learn. I'll help where needed. Um, one of the things I realized with my teams that I always had in corporate America, when I would say, okay, like, where are we on the status of something? And they may tell me that, they need help. And I'm like, okay, so what do you need me to do? And that really threw a lot of people off, because it was like, what do you mean? What do you need to do? What do I need to do? Where do you want me to step in? Where do you want me to help? And I think that really threw a lot of people off, but it helped them to see that I was really there for I wanted to see them grow. I wanted to see them win. And so if that meant that I had to step in and help, then I stepped in to help. And so I think that played a part in entrepreneurship. I think my inspiration, or how I inspire others, is by helping them to do the same thing, helping them to show up as their selves, helping them to use their voice and understand how to. It's okay to speak up for yourself, and you can do it professionally. It's okay to use your opinion, to use your voice. It's okay to say, I don't know, but let me find out. And so it's in those ways that I work to inspire others that I work with today.
Oh, I love that so much what you said, to, yeah, to inspire others to show their true self and not to pretend to be something, or,
Mhm,
yeah, someone they are not. Yes, so to
mhm.
say, I love that. So you always see their potential, the highest potential, and then you encourage them to show that version, to show up for that version. I love that. Thank you so much. I know now what you stand for, and you are also very, yeah, you use the word genuine, right? Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much. My next question is about your gifts and talents. What are your gifts and talents?
Excuse me. I would say, and that's really one that's kind of hard for me, because I feel like I'm forever growing, forever evolving. I would definitely say I have the gift of teaching. It's something that I've always done in my career and personal life, but never intentionally. Um, it's just, when people would say, oh, well, you taught me this, or I learned this from you, either it was from me actually showing them, or just being the example. And so I think teaching is definitely a huge gift of mine. It's something that I love to do, and actually something that I have started to do here recently as well. In addition to my business, I also teach some accounting courses to aspiring accountants. So teaching definitely is a major gift for me. And then and I don't know how to. say it, but I tend to people tend to feel comfortable speaking with me from what I'm told. Um, I'm told that I can, look a bit intimidating at first until that first smile or until I, open my mouth or whatever. And then there's just a level of comfort that they feel like, this person is really on my side. This person is really listening to me. And one of the things I used to always tell people in my team in corporate, I would say, I have an open door, but I'm not the shoulder to cry on. And what that meant is if you need to vent, if something is bothering you, if there's a problem, speak your piece, let it all out, and then let's find a resolution. We're not going to have a pity party. We're not going to have a crying session. We're not going to have an angry session. We're going to say what's wrong, what happened, and then now let's fix it. And I think people can appreciate that. And so I would definitely say my ability to teach as far as my gift, and then just my the calm that I bring is a talent that I work on every day to try to perfect.
Oh, thank you so much. I can approve it because we are talking now and it's for the first time. So I
Mhm.
perceive you as very calm and serene as well. And what I realize is, if I may say this, that it is also about trust building, right? You
Yes,
meet persons for the first time and you connect immediately and build the trust with them. I like
yes,
this. It gives me
yes.
confidence to speak with you. Say, thank you so much for our interview. Of course, I have another question. The question is about goal setting. Do you set goals for yourself or intentions? And what is one of your goals for 2024?
Yes, I do set goals, and I love talking about goal setting. Um, I've always worked when you made a comment earlier about, helping to push people that, either I worked with before. And the way that I do that with them is through goal setting, because we talk about what are your goals? What are some things you want to work on? But in telling me that now I have to hold you accountable. And so I'm going to follow up. I'm going to ask, hey, where are we on these steps? And sometimes it's not about that ultimate goal, but what are the small things that we are doing to get to that point? What are the even baby steps that we are making to get to that point? I will honestly say that I have a goal as far as one of my business goals is to double my monthly revenue. And you know what the crazy thing is, I'm well on my way to doing that. And it's not even because I'm trying to do it. It's just I'm looking for other ways where I can help. And in looking for other ways where I can help, it ultimately is turning into ways that is being productive for me, income wise. So definitely for business, it's my monthly revenue. And then in my personal life, it's to become more active.
Oh, more active?
Yes, working out, walking,
Okay.
doing different things to stay, because I sit here at this desk for hours on end. And so it's to move more.
Ah, okay, active because I thought we are always active. When we are speaking, it's active. And, we are active in passive and active. It's also an expression in the accounting. I don't know, in your language, I don't have this English accounting vocabulary, let's say, but we have passive income, for example, or yeah, active. I
Yeah.
like what you said, so I have to rewire my mind. Thank you so much for mentioning this about goals and also to hold your clients, the people you work with or for,
Yes.
to hold them accountable. This is very
Yes.
important. Yes, thank you so
Yes.
much. I have one last question for you. And this is when people reach out to you after listening to this podcast episode, how can they help you? And do you have special offers or services for the inspired podcast community?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. So, yes, I can be reached at my website, which is transformthegap.com. And just remember there's two A's, GAAP. I'm also available on LinkedIn under my name, Sherrika Sanders. So I would love to connect, even if it's just a connection. I love to connect with new people, provide insight on their posts. have the conversations, all of those things. So those are two of the main ways to connect with me. And yes, for the inspired listeners, that I do offer a 10% discount if you mention in the comments on your discovery call, or when ordering a service, that you heard me on the Inspired podcast. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. This is so generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please reach out to Sherrika. She's amazing, as you heard. And now is time for your last message to the audience.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for that. One again, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here today and use my voice and speak to your audience. I really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed our conversation. Um, I would have to say you miss 100% of the opportunities that you don't take. And so, what that means is we often don't do things because of fear or because we assume what the outcome will be. But you don't know that. You never know what will happen if you just try. So, don't be afraid to just take that step. If anyone would have asked me 3 or 4 years ago about entrepreneurship, I would have called them an outright liar. No, never. And I did say it. But look at me now. I'm doing something that I love. I'm thriving. I'm growing. And I'm helping other people. And so always remember that there's always an option. You always have an opportunity. And just take advantage of each of these opportunities that come before you, because you can't say you didn't have the chance if you had it and you didn't take it.
That's so true. Thank you so much for sharing. And I will re-listen to this episode immediately because there were so many nuggets in it. Thank you so much for being
Thank you for
here.
having me.
And see you in the next episode.